Welcome back to the Hologram News Network, your trusted source on the Star Atlas political landscape. Today, we're providing an in-depth post-mortem on the failure of PIP-19, funding independent economic research and maintenance of critical data resources, a massive, multi-phase proposal that divided the DAO and ultimately failed to secure approval. This initiative, designed to provide investors and DACs with crucial transparency and data, was narrowly defeated, leaving a significant gap in the ecosystem's planned economic infrastructure. The sheer ambition of this plan makes its failure notable. The entire program sought 45,800,000 Atlas over 360 days, distributed as 4 sub-PAPs, with the first being PIP-19A at 11,200,000 Atlas. The author is Steven Sabel, known as Data Bros, a highly qualified figure with extensive experience in structural economics. Before submitting this proposal, he served as the Director of Metaverse Economics at Star Atlas, and prior to that, had a proven track record, including time at the Federal Reserve. This was not a submission from a novice, it was a proposal for continued independent, open-source economic research, led by a seasoned expert. The core motivation of the proposal was to establish long-term stability. The funding was critical to cover the recent increased computational cost of querying blockchain data. The plan required migrating data resources over to Snowflake from the former Flipside Studio platform. Over 44% of the initial funding for PIP-19A was designated for Snowflake credits and AWS cloud services. Without this funding, the long-term maintenance of the public data resources remains at risk. The defeat of PIP-19 means the community has lost access to several key economic deliverables that were planned to start almost immediately. The proposal included a Star Atlas monthly tokenomics update that would provide an independent written assessment of essential trends in ATLs and Polis, delivered as X threads and an accessible Google Sheet. Additionally, the proposed DAO dashboard was slated to be updated bi-weekly with custom charts, and the DAC Starbase Core Earnings Report would track DAC profits, membership, and external revenues every quarter. This data was intended to provide standardized reporting dashboards to ensure equitable access to economic performance data, benefiting DACs regardless of their individual analytical capacity. The project included a one-time process to correctly classify and tag over 85 known Star Atlas wallets and programs on public Explorer websites like Dune and SoulScan. This tagging was vital for enhanced investor research by external and blockchain analysts. Lastly, the proposal included funding for tax tool research. Looking forward, the proposal planned for a 2025 year-end tax tool, a wallet lookup feature for earnings and expenses, which is now delayed indefinitely. The final vote was incredibly close, turning on external political pressure and community reaction. When the vote was in danger of failing, author Steven Sabol wrote several angry messages on X, posts that were quickly deleted. This public emotional response had a direct impact on governance, causing some supporters to switch their vote to no. Despite the initial groundswell of support, the final tally showed 57.89% of PvP voting against. Because the measure did not meet the required threshold for approval, the DAO officially rejected PIP-19. The failure of a proposal with this level of technical merit, due in part to the author's public conduct, underscores that in a decentralized system, community perception and political conduct are as critical as the proposal's content. The fate of independent economic research remains uncertain following this vote, although the recently proposed Rogue Data Hub shows promise to cover some of the missing features. As always, stay vigilant, pilots. We'll see you on the next update.